Hello everyone, welcome to Classic Tetris Monthly. I'm your favorite underwater host Sharky, and tonight we are going to be having the conclusion of the Classic Tetris Monthly Challenger Circuit. Up first, we're going to have Hydrant Dude versus Xeno, and then we're going to have Aaron versus Toby. And then of course, to find the conclusion, we'll have the winner of both of those pairs. Alright, looks like we got a ready. Hover 3 for both players. Let's go ahead and count them down to game number 1. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. So yeah, it definitely appears that we will have same piece sets. And we get a little bit of a differentiation on the stack. But Hydrant Dude is set up for the first Tetris of the game, knocks it down. Xeno not going to be able to use that long bar for Tetris. Actually going to have to take a few burns. Both players are looking pretty clean. It looks like we might be in the middle of a second drought. But Xeno holds out just long enough to knock down their first Tetris of the game. Hydrant Dude is able to take a minor lead. Is able to capitalize off of a couple early Tetrises. And Xeno right now in the lead by 1,000 points. Hydrant Dude narrowly avoiding a misdrop. So far, both players with a pretty immaculate board. Hydrant Dude setting up an insanely clever delay burn. And is able to convert a Tetris. Meanwhile, Xeno having to kind of experience the same rough set of pieces. And this seed is kind of brutal. So far, I think we've seen very limited long bars. In fact, Hydrant and Xeno both appear to be waiting on the same drought. Wow, this is insanely brutal. They're both rollers, and they both are able to score on the same Tetris. Absolutely fantastic survival, double simul Tetrises. But looks like Xeno is going to be able to knock down that Tetris there. Hydrant Dude does have a 1 Tetris lead, was a little bit more efficient in the early game, and you can kind of see that kind of impact the score differential here. Nice adjustment over there by Hydrant. Xeno now actually having to work on trying to resolve this. Hydrant Dude also not necessarily having the most friendly board, so neither player is in position to score. In fact, Hydrant has a long bar dependency, and based on how brutal these droughts have been so far, this could get really dangerous. Xeno opens up the well, but is having a massive Z-Spire there in the center of the stack. Hydrant Dude still not getting the eyepiece needed to fill in the dependency, but converts the dependency out of it. Very nice alternative solution to solve. Both players are still in this drought. What is this seed? Finally, a long bar comes. Hydrant Dude couldn't score off of it, but Xeno could. And Xeno missed out on a chance for a second Tetris, but was still able to get it anyways. What an incredibly close game. We are, in fact, tied 218,000 to 218,000. Man, this has been some of the most brutal RNG sequences. But both players are managing it well, and we are now at a tie game. Can't get any closer than this. Anyways, there it is. Tetris for both Hydrant and Xeno. Xeno technically slightly more efficient. Has burned 1 less line than Hydrant. He's going to be able to knock down a Tetris there. Hydrant going to take another burn and knock down a Tetris, putting him in the lead at 287. Xeno looking for the long bar now as both players get Tetris ready. Xeno sets up a delay burn. Couldn't utilize the long bar for a Tetris. Can use the next one, though. And now we are tied yet again. But Hydrant, a little bit tricky pieces to kind of have to deal with here. And Hydrant with a massive long bar dependency covers up the well and just throwing the squares on top, trying to get access to the holes down at the bottom. We still have plenty of time till the transition, roughly about 35 lines or so. But Xeno has been able to kind of build up a lead here. Hydrant at 318. Xeno at 381. Hydrant opens up the well. And now just waiting on the long bar, but can't hope for one. There it is. Tetris for Hydrant. Xeno knocks one down as well. That's going to be a split double, I believe, over there for Hydrant, or a split triple. But Xeno is going to be in the lead as Hydrant uses the long bar to fill in the isolated dependency. Another Tetris for Xeno. Xeno's looking at a potential 500k transition. Hydrant is around the 450 range with perfect play. And we are nearing the transition. Here we have just about 2 Tetrises left for both players if they play perfectly. Xeno decides to take the burns right there. And this has allowed Hydrant to kind of get back in the game right before transition. Hydrant's going to transition at 446. Xeno transitions at 484. Hydrant has to do a little bit of burning to get the stack in optimal position for scoring. Meanwhile, Xeno is set up for 2 Tetrises if the long bar comes. And that is a big if right now. Long bar comes a piece too late as Hydrant knocks down a Tetris and closes the gap. But Xeno reopens it up with that Tetris right there. And it looks like Xeno's going to be perfectly fine. Hydrant Dude and Xeno are both set up for Tetrises here. Meanwhile, Xeno holding out for the long bar, able to get it. Hydrant Dude, massive clean out right there. And that's going to allow Hydrant Dude to score. Tetris still trailing by around 60,000 points here. 506 to now 566. Hydrant Dude with this J-piece dependency in the center of the stack. Burns the double using that Z. And now Hydrant knocks down a Tetris. Still trailing by 60 points and doesn't really have a good stack to try and maintain this. Has multiple long bar dependencies, but Xeno is also in a burn situation. This must be a brutal piece sequence for both players to have to deal with. Hydrant Dude finally gets the long bar and now has to try and work his way down. Meanwhile, Xeno up here surviving the best that they can. And with a couple more pieces, Xeno should be out of this. Hydrant Dude still working on this. Would love to get a long bar. Gets one in the leftmost center part. Still trying to bring the stack down. Makes another misdrop. Xeno is in perfect position to continue scoring Tetrises. Hydrant still working his way down. Xeno knocks down another Tetris. 664 to now 552. Hydrant Dude now trying to avoid setting up the long bar dependency there. Very clever move. Nice adjustment. Going to burn down the double. And now needs to try and get access to this hole. Xeno, meanwhile, is in perfect position to continue building up a lead. Burns a beautiful triple. Hydrant Dude would just like a long bar or something to try and get started for Tetrises, even if it's just row 2, as Hydrant Dude now trails by almost 200,000 points. However, there's 29 play at hand. Hydrant Dude waiting for the right pieces to get a specific burnout. And it looks like they get the right pieces, but they need an eyepiece in the center. Eyepiece finally comes. It's going to burn out a triple, followed up by a single. Not going to take that burn, waiting for more ideal pieces. Forced to take another double. And Hydrant Dude still just can't get in the scoring position as Xeno knocks down another Tetris. 800,000 to now 587. Hydrant Dude going for a dirty Tetris and gets it. Still down by almost 200,000, but like we know, 29 is at play. Both of these players are rollers. But oh, Hydrant Dude with another misdrop right there. And that's going to prevent Hydrant Dude from scoring until this gets cleaned out. Goes for a delay burn. Gets all the right pieces. Opens up the well. Not quite Tetris ready. Now is ready after that J placement. Tetris ready. Meanwhile, Xeno also Tetris ready. Both players holding out for the long bar. We might be running into a drought here. Hydrant is getting incredibly high. Takes the double. Trying to not avoid taking that triple. Finally has to take a triple. What is this drought here on level 27? Xeno gets the long bar, knocks down a Tetris. Hydrant Dude making misdrops, but still gets the long bar over for one more Tetris. Knocks it down, and now what is Hydrant going to do? He's down by almost 200 or 250,000 points. He's got to get the stack in order. Xeno goes to level 29 at around 987. Hydrant Dude has one line left and is going to be digging. And oh, this is not looking good for Hydrant. Hydrant goes... Can't get that piece all the way over to the right. And Hydrant's going to top it at 719. Xeno at 1,034,000 is good for game number 1. But man, that seed was disgusting. So many heavy droughts early on in 18. And then that drought on 27, that's diabolical. I mean, that's why I hate level 27. All right. So, looks like Hydrant Dude is hovering 3. So, let's go ahead and count them down. Game number 2. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Tetris. And based on the first few pieces of the sequence, we are still same piece sets. But man, what a brutal first game that was. Hydrant Dude was Hydrant Dude did start off the game a little bit stronger than Xeno. Unfortunately, got into a situation that kind of set them back by around 40,000 points at transition and couldn't really get things under control quick enough. But to start this game off with, Hydrant Dude's actually having to take the first burn. Xeno with a perfect opener so far. Players are keeping it clean here. Xeno knocks down another Tetris on a 4 Tetris streak here in the beginning. And we're looking for both a J and an L piece over here for Hydrant. Neither is coming. So forced to, ooh, nice S flat right there. And I think we might be running into a drought here, which is very typical for classic Tetris, but Hydrant Dude is going to be able to burn it out. He's ready for the long bar. Xeno, not quite, but the long bar is not coming. And there it is, finally, a Tetris for Hydrant. Xeno was unable to utilize that long bar for a Tetris, so Hydrant is going to successfully try and hold on to a small lead here. But Xeno was able to open up the well just in time for another long bar coming. Hydrant setting up for the row 3. And there it is, row 3 Tetris for Hydrant and the well transferred. Xeno knocks down another Tetris, still in the lead by just about a Tetris. There's a little bit of a line discrepancy between the two, so Hydrant Dude is going to be behind until Xeno takes around 2 burns, while Hydrant Dude takes none. And these are the birds that Hydrant Dude needed Xeno to take. And with that, Hydrant Dude is officially caught up with Xeno. Both players knocked down a Tetris. And around halfway through, we are looking at some potential 600k transition paces. And nice adjustment over there for Hydrant Dude. Creating the delay burn there was key. And we are separated by half a single now. Both players knocked down a Tetris. And Xeno getting a couple of tricky pieces to deal with there. Not able to utilize that long bar for a Tetris, so Hydrant Dude gonna go into the lead temporarily. And oh, this is actually really tricky for Xeno. So Xeno is gonna have to do a little bit of burns. O-piece was perfect for the double. Xeno knocks down a Tetris, 289 to now 329. A very strong game for both, but Hydrant Dude was able to build up a small amount of separation. As Hydrant Dude knocks down a Tetris right there at 352. There it is, Tetris for Hydrant. And ooh, this is looking tricky. Both players looks like they might be walking into a small drought. Hydrant Dude last throughout the drought, and both players knocked down a Tetris. Xeno gonna go for the, no, does not go for the burn to get Tetris ready, causing them to miss out on a Tetris right there, but still able to score one. But is still trailing by around 60,000 points. And Hydrant Dude making an adjustment there. Gets all the right pieces to burn it out flawlessly. So a couple 3 extra burns. Going to give Xeno the opportunity to close the gap by around a Tetris. And we're around the 100 line mark. Looking at some very powerful transitions. As I said earlier, we're looking at a couple of 600k possible transitions. Hydrant Dude has to go for the spin. Going to go for the safety double. And still just not getting 2 good pieces. That J piece was perfect. Beautiful burn right there, and Hydrant Dude is Tetris ready, but has allowed Xeno to catch back up by another Tetris. It's going to create some separation there as Xeno is in a little bit of trouble. They have ample opportunities to burn, but they're deciding not to take it. And Xeno goes for the aggressive T-burn. Oh, this is going to be tricky. Xeno able to roll pieces over to the left, but it's not going to be to any avail. Hydrant Dude, after setting up a delayed Vitz, is going to take game number 2 and tie us up 1-1. All right, and looks like we have it ready from Xeno. Let's go ahead and count them down. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. So, as vandweller likes to say, what was a best of 5 is now a best of 3. Both Hydrant and Xeno had their respective troubles in the first 2 games. Hydrant Dude kind of struggled closer towards transition and was unable to kind of build or really gain any ground up against the massive lead Xeno was able to have before 29. Meanwhile, in the second game, Hydrant Dude was able to have a really strong mid-18 into the latter parts of 18, and Xeno just got into a situation and certain burns weren't taken, putting us at a tie-to-tie position. Of course, all 4 of our players, Hydrant, Xeno, Toby, and Aaron, one of them will become a new Challengers winner, as none of them have won Challengers before. So that's going to be very interesting. Looks like so far, Hydrant Dude is taking a small advantage. But Xeno is also slightly behind in lines. And so with this Tetris, I believe that puts us separated by half a single yet again. And right now, both players just playing really clean. Hydrant Dude just building out that left and avoids taking the triple with the L, maintaining majority of the stack. Xeno did take a burn right there, so Hydrant Dude is going to be leading by around 17,000 points, so a little bit under a Tetris. But regardless, has been playing slightly more efficient than Xeno. But all it takes is, you know, one dig or, dare I say, a drought to kind of change the terms of things, depending on how well players handle the drought. You see, with same pizzas being in play, droughts are guaranteed, same droughts are guaranteed for players, but it's how well they handle the drought, how much they manage the risk if they want to continue holding out for that long bar to burn that triple. And that's what's going to help generate some of the separation or close the gaps in certain cases. But so far, Hydrant Dude has been able to build quite a nice amount of separation here, separated by around 60,000 points. Now 80,000 in favor of Hydrant Dude. Xeno finally able to knock down a Tetris. Doesn't want to go for the skim to get Tetris ready. Gets Tetris ready with that J skim and knocks down another Tetris. 326 for Hydrant and 270 for Xeno. Technically, both players are on a possible 600k transition pathway. However, Xeno will have to play significantly more efficient throughout the latter part of this post-transition. And looks like they're kind of starting to do so, knocking down Tetris after Tetris. Hydrant Dude knocks down a Tetris right there. And let's see how they decide to handle this. Looks like they're setting up for the elevated burn with the J. Beautifully executed. Very nice. With that, Hydrant Dude almost had the 100% perfect cleanup. Sets up a delay burn. It looks like it's going to resolve itself very nicely as Xeno knocks down another Tetris, closing the gap to now only 30,000 points. But as I mentioned earlier, that's all it takes is how well you can manage certain things. Mistakes are what's going to make the difference here on level 18 under same key sets. And Hydrant Dude, a small tedious overhang. Shouldn't be too troublesome, but Xeno, ooh, can we see an eye spin? And Hydrant Dude misses the eye spin and makes another misdrop immediately after. And Nice is just going to throw the J underneath there, knock down the Tetris. The stack is going to be safe, but this gives Xeno the window of opportunity they are looking for. And there it is, Tetris for Xeno, closing the gap here. Hydrant Dude looking for a J to fill in the dependency. And with that, Hydrant Dude is clean, but Xeno now only within one Tetris reach of Hydrant Dude's score. There it is, Tetris for Hydrant Dude. 506 to now 460. And Tetris for Xeno showing how we have a real separation of about 1,000 points. We are nearing the transition, so it'll be our second transition of the set. There it is, Tetris for both Xeno and Hydrant. And Xeno, who took a burn too many right there, was not able to utilize that long bar for a Tetris. There it is, Tetris for Hydrant. Can try and grab 2 more with perfect play. And same, well, Xeno has a couple of leeway, a couple burns of leeway to try and grab 1 more Tetris. But it looks like it is possible for us to have a dual 600k transition here in game number 3. Hydrant Dude is just in need of a J piece. I piece comes, so now is in need of 1 more I piece. Meanwhile, Xeno, a couple unfortunate places. Xeno's going to transition at 578. Hydrant Dude transitions at 621. The board for Hydrant Dude starting to get a little bit messy, and Xeno's board's not clean, but is only a couple burns away from opening up the well and potentially closing the gap significantly. Hydrant Dude now looking for an L piece over to the left. Gets an I piece instead. Beautiful pieces right there. Perfect burnout. Xeno, however, is caught right back up, and we have a game here. 633 to now 636. Hydrant Dude forced to take the split triple as Xeno actually forced to do some more burning. And so even though the advantage was equalized, Hydrant Dude is going to knock down a Tetris and go into the lead. Xeno might be going aggressive here, going for the row or the column 2, and knocks down the column 2 dirty Tetris. It looks like they're just going to try and transfer their way out of this, but those Z pieces are not necessarily wanted. But a perfect combination of pieces is going to allow Xeno to open up the well. Xeno is Tetris ready. Hydrant Dude now having to struggle with a couple of their own. And ooh, this is getting a little bit scary for Hydrant Dude. Decides to set up a beautiful delay burn sequence, but now has to do some massive down stacking, and that misdrop might do it. And yes, Hydrant Dude's going to top out at 699. Xeno already solidified it with that Tetris, taking game number 3, and now leads the set 2-1. All right, looks like we got it ready from both players as indicated by Xeno and Hydrant. So let's go ahead and count them down. Game number 4. Hydrant Dude's back is against the wall. Let's see if he can turn things around. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. All right, the piece sequence is the same, and we already have some early stack differentiation. Both players are set up for their first Tetris of the game. Couldn't utilize any of the long bars. The stack didn't have enough volume to it, but they're both going to knock down the Tetris. And Xeno is actually set up to knock down a second. Hydrant Dude had to use their long bar to build up. And oh, this might be a little bit tricky for Hydrant as they take a double, knock down a Tetris, and knock down another one. And Xeno just getting the long bar as soon as the well is covered, finally gets it there. And now has brought us into a pretty close scenario here, early game. But ooh, a little bit of a rough J piece over there for Hydrant. This is a Tetris, and now Hydrant Dude goes for the split double. Could actually go for row 3 Tetrises here. And Hydrant Dude deciding not to create the J piece dependency is going to result in at least 4 more burn lines with these really unfavorable Z pieces. But Hydrant Dude still maintaining this row 3 Tetris. Meanwhile, Xeno in the lead currently. Knocks down a Tetris, is going to have some minor complications due to that unwelcome S. And Hydrant Dude still trying to work his way out of this. Xeno definitely with the advantage in terms of points, and a little bit of a line advantage in hand. However, Hydrant Dude has opened up the well and is ready to score a Tetris. Xeno still trying to work their way out of this. And Hydrant Dude is going to hold out for a J piece here. Or could this be a well conversion over to the left well? It looks like it is a well conversion. Hydrant Dude is set up for the left well on row 3. The long bar is not coming, and there it is. A left well Tetris for Hydrant Dude, and that's going to result in a clean swap over to the right well, still on row 3. Meanwhile, Xeno also going for row 3 Tetrises, saying that he can do it too. Ooh. But, man, those are some really tough pieces. Both players actually in a little bit of trouble. Hydrant Dude needs the long bar now. That's going to only burn one line. Both players up at the top of the screen. Hydrant Dude does have the lead, so if Xeno tops out now, we are going into a decider. Wow, that was brutal, and Hydrant Dude is actually going to survive. Wow. Insanely brutal right there. But we have a decider, everyone. All right, but it looks like we have a ready from both Hydrant and Xeno. So let's go ahead and count them down to game number 5. Who's advancing to the finals? We're about to find out. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Man, today has been just a mix of some really unfortunate seeds. Last game we saw an early top out by both players. But we'll see how things differ here in game number 5. Both players just ran into a very rough sequence on game number 4. And Hydrant Dude already building up, avoiding the isolated dependency there temporarily, but is now going to have to try and find a way to navigate through this. Oh, this is going to be a little bit tricky. All right, nice. It's going to be a double. Xeno also in not necessarily a friendly position. Both players waiting, or Hydrant Dude finally gets the long bar. Xeno not able to use the long bar for a Tetris, but is going to be able to survive, and that's the most important thing here. As mentioned earlier, we are in a decider, so there is no more games left to give for either player. And Xeno's actually going to be able to take a lead. Hydrant Dude having to take a couple extra burns. But Hydrant Dude is cleaned up. Xeno also clean. Both players handling that rough sequence quite masterfully. Xeno just was able to handle it a little bit better. And a nice T-spin over there for Hydrant. No bonus points, but it looks nice. But speaking of looking nice, that's what Xeno board is not looking like. As Xeno is now having to dig. And, okay, makes an adjustment for the J. Not necessarily getting the most ideal pieces. Needs something to go right there in column 3. And is able to get a long bar, followed up by a J. Best combination of pieces right there. Xeno should be able to survive this. All right, gets an L piece, followed up by an S and another L. Perfect pieces, perfect sequence of pieces right there. And Xeno gets the long bar, knocks down a Tetris, and actually had the lead there until Hydrant Dude knocked down one himself. Both players are now clean. And Hydrant Dude going with the exaggerated double wide approach. It's considered a more conservative way of stacking, but it does have the benefit of allowing you to weather long droughts. And oh man, the way that these guys are playing, are having to play through some of these sequences, we just aren't going through droughts. We're going through absolute famines. And speaking of famines right here, Xeno getting up high. Both players, oh no, Hydrant Dude! Oh, able to hit the tuck and knock down the Tetris, just barely staying alive, and knocks down another one and gets the triple to burn out. Oh my gosh, the sheer survival from Hydrant right there. And is Hydrant going to go for the row forward? No, it's just going to burn out. But as I was saying, this is a famine of long bars throughout the sequences. But surprisingly, we are very close, only separated by 3,000 points. And this actually favors Hydrant Dude, as Hydrant Dude is slightly behind in line. So we are neck and neck, arguably, as Hydrant Dude knocks down another Tetris right there. 295 to now 291. Insanely close game. We have around 35 lines to the transition, and things are going to get even more serious because both players are having to weather some of the most insane droughts and some of the roughest piece sequences. But both players are Tetris ready, just waiting on the next long bar. And Xeno actually not able to score off of that long bar. Hydrant Dude was, and that's going to allow Hydrant Dude to kind of catch back up with Xeno. Hydrant Dude goes for the tuck and knocks down a Tetris. Absolutely meticulous stack for both players. No real danger. And we're looking at a couple of 500k transitions, possibly. If not, we'll definitely be around the 490, 480 territory. Hydrant Dude knocks down a Tetris. Xeno is in position to score one, but I don't think the long bar that Hydrant Dude used was usable by Xeno. There it is, Tetris for Hydrant. Or not for Hydrant, for Xeno. Hydrant is Tetris ready, and now it's Tetris for Hydrant. Xeno can try and score one more with a 500k transition. And Hydrant, nice overhang right there. Tetris for Hydrant. Xeno transitions at 500,000. Hydrant Dude at 501 is going to transition at 503. And this is it. This is the decider. Xeno, on the other hand, trying to get Tetris ready. Forced to take a double. Meanwhile, Hydrant Dude with a long bar dependency in the center of the stack. Oh, man, this is getting scary. Hydrant Dude, nice delay burn. Nice burns. Great execution so far. But an accidental over-rotation. Hydrant Dude's doing the best that he can, but it's not going to be to any avail. Hydrant Dude tops out at 506, and Xeno, after that Tetris, and technically a little bit before, at 535, is good for the decider and advances to the finals. What an amazing set by Hydrant and Xeno, but just goes to show you that they've had some of the worst piece sequences today. We weren't in just droughts, we were in absolute famine.
Hey everybody, this is your old pal Vandweller, host of Classic Tetris Monthly, and I'm asking you to do me a favor. If you like this video, hit thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like it, please subscribe and bang that notification bell. And follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/monthlytetris. Thank you, and have a nice day.